Incoming transmission.
Ladies and gentlemen, one and all, welcome to today's StarCraft 2 broadcast brought to you by Captain America. Got a little user-submitted replay here. We are on Cloud Kingdom. The red Protoss player Theo has spawned in the bottom left-hand corner. And his opponents, is that blue? Yes, the blue Zerg, the submitter of the replay, UEDMyStiC. Spawned in the top right-hand corner. A little bit of convo going between these guys. Looks like they do know each other. Not sure if Mystic was playing as random or not. He has sent me a few replays to cast. This is the second one I'm getting to now. A little ZvP here on Cloud Kingdom. It could get crazy. I don't know. It's supposed to be epic. Let's see what happens. Little probe scout in the main for Theo, and let's see what kind of shenanigans we have. Will there be a pylon block or a cannon rush? Maybe even a hatchery block with an Evo chamber. Random with the Zerg when I play. Apparently Theo does not like playing against the Zerg. And so I guess most random players spawn a Zerg. Mystic saying he has hella wins as Protoss though. So apparently Theo has some good wins. As random, Mystic has 125. That's actually quite a few as a random player. I believe Mystic is a gold level player. Here we go. Pull down. Forge on the way. They'll line up pretty closely. They will be cannoned out for Theo. Theo looks like he's in gold too. Carried over some wins from silver. So any gold players out there watching, this is right up your alley. Watch what these guys do. You see what you're up against. And you know, I remember back to my days in gold, it was really just about getting my mechanics down. And I would play hours just against the AI. I'd put it on the very hard. And it does, you know, it's very predictable. It does that 5-minute, or is it a 7-minute push against you. It's so predictable. You know it's coming, but just pick a build and play the build out. You could even put the computer on easy and play the build. Day 9 recommends this, so it's not even just my advice. Don't take it from me, take it from Day 9. Play against the AI. If you're a gold and below, even if you're platinum and diamond, you're still struggling with your build or your mechanics, you don't have to ladder to get better at that. You do want to ladder to get a good sense of scouting and game sense and reacting to what your opponent's doing, because the AI will never react the same as, you know, as a human does. It's going to do some very stupid things. There'll be some pathing issues, and it's very easy to cheat against an AI if you abuse those kind of weaknesses in its structure. But if you just sit there and you take it as an ability to practice and you macro up, you keep yourself from getting supply blocked, you build your probes or your SCVs or your drones, you expand, you get your upgrades, and whatever your build is, just pick it out, write it down. And if you play against the single-player AI, not a custom game, but actually versus AI, if you go to the single-player tab and click versus AI, and you play there, you can pause the game as much as you want. You don't just get 3 pauses or get 2 that you normally get. And you can just sit there and you can work a build out, you can hammer it out, and you can do it over and over, and you can even save the game. Say you've got your opening down, if you're a Protoss player in the PvZ matchup and you know how to throw down the Forge and the Nexus, and you get your gateway and your cannon up and you got the wall down, but then things start to get a little crazy because it gets a little bit more complex. Well, save the game after you've gotten the easy part down, and then go back and play it over from that point over and over and over until you get the next section of the build down. And eventually what you'll be able to do is play all the way through from start to finish, whatever build it is you've chosen, whatever kind of style you want to play. It doesn't even have to be a set build. If you're playing a Zerg, which is more of a reactionary race, you could just want to say, okay, I'm going to play up to 5 bases, and I'm going to scout what my opponent does and try and react to him accordingly. So it's a little bit harder to do as Zerg, but it's great for working out the mechanics playing against the AI. And that's my my lecture for the day. I'm Captain America here. Just anybody, I don't care if you're even in Masters, you could still probably, especially if you have a new build you're working on, you could still do that. But definitely at the lower levels, really just hammer out your openings, get them down, and get into the mid game, and then hammer that down, and then worry about the late game. And it'll make you a much stronger player, and it'll get you out of gold so fast. You'll be in platinum, and then the ladder's going to start to get harder for everybody else as you guys improve. So if that's your goal, if you want to make it out of gold, or bronze, or silver, or whatever, really just practice. And then you have to look at scouting. Yes, that is a key aspect. You have to be able to scout your opponent. But the thing is, at those levels, your mechanics, if they are solid, are going to be so much better than your opponent that even if you don't scout properly, if you don't react properly, a lot of times you'll just be able to out macro them. I did this as a Terran. I was not a Zerg player, I'm a Terran player, and I could out macro people. You know, even the Platinums now, I out macro them, and they can't keep up with me. Not to toot my own horn, it's just, you know, when you get, I mean, I'm not the most solid mechanically, you know, for sure. I do miss my SCVs and sometimes get supply blocked. But at those lower levels, you'll be able to out macro people, and even if they come with an all-in, you'll be way ahead of them because their timings are off, because they don't have it down either. They didn't spend time practicing against the AI either. So go ahead and do it. It'll be well worth your time if you want to improve on the ladder. Alright, back to the game. A third hatch going down for UEDMyStiC. Looks like he has hit the inject main. His queen here at the natural has a bit of energy, so he's lagging a little bit there on his injects. Also 37 energy here. That's something as a Zerg player you can work on, really. You know, just spend a day, go build 5 hatcheries against an easy AI, get your queens out, and practice hitting all 5 injects every time the larva pops. Hit it right away, hit it with all 5 queens as fast as possible. And when you do it in a game, it'll be so much easier because it'll just be muscle memory. And you won't have to think about it. It's one of the tricks to getting very good at place like that. Making it instinct and not having to think about what you're doing. You still want to be able to think, but you can do the simple things without thinking. You'll be in a much better position. This is +1 weapons on the way now for Theo. It looks like we do have 6 gateways in a robo. Not an all-in. He will be able to expand off of this. Actually, as I say that, I do see a 7. Is that 7? No, it's only 6 gateways. Okay. So I'll have a +1 timing here with this +1 weapons. Roach play coming out of MyStiC. Tunneling Claw is going to be coming up after that. No burrow yet on the way, but of course burrow, it only takes, what, 100 seconds. Tunneling Claws is a little bit longer, 110 seconds. See if MyStiC gets his burrow on time. And see, he's a little bit late here on this inject at the natural. The third does have it, and let's check the hotkeys here. He's actually, MyStiC playing without any hotkeys. He's got his hatcheries all in one. Another thing you anybody could recommend you use those hotkeys. It's like a transfer of drones to the third. +1 missile attacks for the roaches. Still no burrow though, so this Tunneling Claws will not be very useful for those roaches just yet. Immortal on the way. A second robotics facility and a robo bay. So we're going to see some 2 base play here from Theo. This is definitely going to be more than he can afford to produce from 2 bases. We're likely not going to see a third anytime soon. But then again, who knows? At the gold level, you do see lots of crazy things, and that can be one of the hard parts of playing in gold, the gold league, is that you won't necessarily see the most standard of play from your opponents. Observer Scout here for Theo is going to get in. Check out the roaches at the natural. Just check the upgrades. Always do that as a player. +1 armor is finished. +1 melee attacks, not yet. +1 armor on the way for Theo. As he gets over here, scouts the third, checks out the saturation. You can check the gas to see how long he's been mining from them. You could also click on the minerals to see what kind of, you know, how many minerals he's mined. Did you start at 1,500? So you see he's been mining, what, 100 off of each patch. And then, so that's a couple minutes of mining time for these drones here. It's undersaturated though, so maybe even a little bit longer for that third base to be up. As +1 armor is about halfway done. Infestation pit halfway done as well, and 1 more Evo chamber coming out for the upgrades. Oh, 2 warp prisms. Double robotics facility for double warp prisms with Dark Templar. Alright, this could get exciting, but an Overseer gonna scout this, actually running in, sees it. Actually sees the Forges and the Twilight Council. Where is that Dark Shrine? Here it is, in the middle of the base. And the Overseer stopping short, not going to get the scout here. Unfortunately, will not see that Dark Shrine. Here we go, moving in. There we go, MyStiC. Going all the way in. Going to scout it out now. Sees the robotics bay, the facility, the second robotics facility, Dark Shrine, and the gateways. And so, with that scout, MyStiC knows what he's up against. Looks he's going for Roach Infester. As he does go, actually, for a Hive Tech. Skipping Infestors so far. And now getting +1 melee attacks. And that, of course, does work very well with Hive Tech, the melee upgrades. Ultras and Broodlords all using melee damage. And Blink on the way, so it'll be Blink Stalker play. +2 upgrades out for the ground units of Theo. Hive about halfway done. A lot of crawlers going down here. And it looks like Mystic's gearing up to fend off an all-in. It's going to be a 2-base push from Theo. Where are all these crawlers, though? 2 in the main. He's got a couple spore crawlers at every base. And 1 warp prism here in the top left corner. Looks like another one on the right side of the map. Double warp prism. Double rainbow. Double crazy. Hive finishes. Here come the warp prisms in. Blink is about to finish. Will these guys be able to do any damage? This one is taking damage. Another one at the natural actually falls to the spore crawlers. Oh, Theo. No, Theo. You lost both of them. Darn it. Well, there goes the excitement. Double rainbow, man. It was ruined by the rain. Oh dear, says Theo. Yes, oh dear indeed. But at least it was only warp prisms. So what do you lose when you lose warp prisms? Yeah, 400 minerals for both of them together. Did lose a little bit of build time, 50 seconds to be exact. So, you know, about 2/3 of the Colossus in build time. Still, he's got 2 robotics facilities, and he's at 2 Colossus. He's definitely not out of this. The supplies are dead even. Income-wise, actually, Theo way ahead here by 25 harvesters, and I want to say he's oversaturated. Let's check it out. Yep. You can do this as a player. This is way too many probes to mine here. They're actually not mining. We've got 7 extra. This is 24. In one tray like this, that's 8 per row. Times 3 is 24 plus 7 on the second row, or second page. And any more than 24 and you're not gaining any benefit. After 16, your return starts to decrease, which means each additional probe brings in less than the first 16. So the probes 17 through 24 aren't mining as effectively as probes 1 through 16. Just because of the layout, there's 8 patches here. They do spend some time sitting idle. As a Protoss player and a Terran player, it does not matter as much if you're a Zerg player, however, where you really want to make the best use of your drones. You could even just do 16 per base. Here we go. Stalkers out all by themselves, marching across the map, going for the 3rd base of MyStiC. Let's check out the production tab. Oh, it looks like we're going to see some Hydras here. Group Spies about to finish. Maybe Roach Hydra from MyStiC. This is old style. Back in the day. Not see a whole lot of Roach Hydra anymore. Here they come. Pushing in. The upgrades are 2-2 for our Zerg player. 2-2 as well for the Stalker. A 3rd base now going down for Theo. So quite a macro-heavy game. Oh, no, not... No. Warp Prism number 3, Theo. No. Theo. That's 3 Warp Prisms. No. They're supposed to warp in units. They're not, what are those things called? Like sacrificial lambs, decoys. Now, what it would be fun to see Theo do is hallucinate some. And then just scare his opponent into thinking there's a fleet of Warp Prism headed for his main. Forcing him to overreact and pull back his entire army while the actual army of Theo goes in to kill this 4th base here that he's about to finish. The 3rd of Theo under attack, though. Roaches moving in here. Almost all Roaches. A few Hydras in the back. About 6. Colossus engaging to the side. The Nexus goes down. I do not think that was canceled. I didn't see the cancel sign for Theo. Just not having a good day of it right now. He's got an Overseer here. Oh, that's Mystics, actually. Yes, if Protoss players had Overseers, the game would explode. I think my brain would explode. 5 Infestors coming out now. And both players trading a base for a base. Let's see. Let's check that income tab. Still a huge lead for Theo by about 28 harvesters. But the actual income advantage is pretty even. The rates here, pretty even for both players, just because of this oversaturation for Theo. He's got 5 too many probes there now, and in the main he's not mining at all. So what we should do is take these probes and then box these guys and take this many. Take 5 probes plus all these idle ones in the main and just send them to the long distance mine, because they're not, otherwise they're not doing very much. Here we go, +3 ground carapace, +3 into the attack, about to finish for UEDMyStiC. Also going to see some shield upgrades here as well as extended thermal lance. Theo hitting 3-2, +3 armor on the way. What you'll see some Protoss players do is actually as +3 attack is warping in or researching, they'll get the shield upgrade before they get the armor upgrade, or get the armor and the shield and then get the weapons and the second shield, so you can go off of 2 forges and get your upgrades a little bit faster. Obviously, if you get both weapons and armor right away, then all of a sudden, well, you can research the shields, so your second forge is useless at that point. Greater Spire halfway done, so we're going to see that Hive Tech Infestor. 6 more on the way. That will make it a count of 11. A few Hydralisks out, not that many. Not the best unit, obviously. So Mystic not going to over invest in those units, which is a good call. Roaches also, though, are weaker and weaker towards the late game. We're really going to need some Broodlords. Actually, Corruptors would be good right now to deal with these Colossus. There are 5 here. A few Templar out as well. Storm getting close to finishing. And Zealot Legs, also known as Charge, is coming up. So it's about 2 bases to 2 bases right now, I think. Actually, no, 2 to 3. UEDMyStiC sitting on a 3rd. Ultralisk Cavern coming in now. And look at this map control. There are Overlords everywhere on this map. Every expansion that is not taken has an Overlord at it. And that Overlord is pooping and pooping and pooping. I mean, these guys just never stop, do they? That's like a constant flow. This one going to be chased away here. Actually, supply blocking Mystic for a second there. Another Overlord finishes. And I'd like to see him make a few extra ones just so he does not get supply blocks, because these Overlords are very vulnerable all over the map. I feel like I'm in a horror movie, like I'm going in or aliens, when it's the military team and they go into the lair of the aliens inside of that colony that's been taken over. And, you know, Sigourney Weaver's there, and you're walking in, and it's just the whole ship has been changed by the aliens. They've completely taken over and kind of like worked it into like into their own little, like a bee's nest, I want to call it. Like, you know, just it's a lair. And you're surrounded by the gooey walls, and then the aliens start popping out and killing everybody. Sigourney Weaver somehow makes it out alive. I don't know how. She shoots a couple aliens in the face. And then the big badass bitch queen of an alien comes along. Oh boy, that was... Whew, that's great. It's a great series. I do recommend. If you haven't seen the Alien series, go check them out. And you're playing StarCraft, or you're watching StarCraft, so you must be a science fiction fan. If you haven't seen Aliens, you gotta go see it. Both Aliens. There's a 3rd and a 4th. There's a lot. And you got the ZvPs, the Predator series. Prometheus just came out. I haven't seen that yet. I do want to. I do plan on seeing it. I have not at this point seen it. There we go. Infestor shot me some infested territory. Not going to do a whole lot, as the Protoss army of Theo is right there, ready to shut it down. A little bit of a stalemate here. Both players playing very passive. And a huge bank forming for both of them. They're both about maxed out. Upgrades are pretty even. 3-3. I think finish for both players. They're really just working on the last few upgrades. We don't see +3 shields yet for Theo. +1 fire attacks coming out now. Spire on the way, so he's going to go for double upgrades on his air fleet. And I think these guys are just... Oh, here comes the engagement. I almost missed it. Great fungals going down on the Protoss army. Storms, though, taking out a lot of these roaches. Ouch. That is crazy. Hydra's falling. Roaches falling. The entire Zerg army falls. Look at this. Theo sitting on 170 supply versus 1... Well, as I say that, Mystic just completely drains his resources. Max is 13 ultras. He doesn't max. He does 13 ultras for 30, and he's going to lose this pace. To his push, and that certainly hurts, as now he's stuck on about 1.5 bases. I have to see what he does here, how quickly he can remax to engage his army. He's going for ultras, and that really hurt. That was just a horrible engagement for Mystic, losing so much and taking out so little. We checked the lost resources count. Favors Theo by about 4,000 as the Ultralisk Cavern is falling to 2 Zealots. I have to see if UEDMyStiC chooses to remake that. He's going to go down here. Still, he has great map presence, even at this point in the game. Lone Infestor sitting out here idle. A couple more, probably misrallied. We check, where is that rally point for his hatcheries? Here it is. Look at all those ultras coming down that ramp. And ultras, man, they are big beasts. They bring it. When they come, you know they're coming because the ground is shaking. And the double hatch expansion here, it's what usually would be the 4th base of UEDMyStiC. Gonna try and get some mining back up, and we're at 27 minutes in the game. A supply block, Mystic not making enough Overlords to count for all the ones he's losing out on the map. I tell you, this creep spread is crazy. There's not even that many tumors. It's just mostly the Overlords pooping everywhere. Which they will be cleaned up now. Another creep tumor going down. These guys, oh man, their day's about to get a lot worse. Here they go, flying away, actually morphing into Overseers. Oh no, that's the wrong time to morph. No, no Mystic. Oh, here we go, Ultra's coming in. Engagement. Let's get a better angle here. Storm's going down on the Ultras. Ultras have connected though, and the Storms aren't doing enough damage. This Protoss army is going to fall. There will be about 7 Ultras left over when the fighting is done. Great tech switch from Mystic going to Ultras there, able to clean up that Protoss death ball. And that time it was not a ball of death, it was a ball that died. Ultra's now going to move in, though I'm not sure if I agree with this. These Ultras are wounded. One actually could fall to the cannons. That's a huge investment down the drain. At this point, Mystic wanted to keep that alive, transfuse it even. Still, he's ahead in supply by about 35 at this point. He's got his base back up, and also is going to take a 5th in the top left corner. His map presence is still pretty good. He does scout. He has scouted all of these expansions. He does know that there is no 5th yet for Theo, as we do have a couple cannons being worked in. Oh, more robotics facilities actually, 2 of them. And 4 Stargates. Oh yes. A little bit of tech switch coming up for Theo now. Gonna get things a little crazy. I tell you, this game has everything. Everything under the sun. Well, we see a fleet beacon and a mothership. It could get crazy. What do we have here? Just a little Zerg army running around. The Protoss player actually sitting on 2,000 minerals and 1,600 gas at this point. 30 supply advantage for the Zerg, but I tell you, Theo could make up for that quite easily if he wanted to. He's got the resources. He could easily warp in a bunch of units. Looks like he's going to save and go for the Void Rays plus 1 air weapons as well. And trying to switch into a Starfleet composition. I'm likely certain that we will see a fleet beacon soon. Just a matter of time. I'm surprised we don't see it already to get that mothership out. I'm looking for it, but it's not out yet. Here we go, the Zerg player wandering around. Once again, we are in a stalemate. 4 Immortals out as well. Ultralisk cabin being remade and 5 more Infestors. Let's see what Mystic can do here. He's going to burrow. Try and launch some Infested Terrans possibly here. I'm not sure if he'll do that or Fungal. There we go. Here come the Infested Terrans. Right behind the mineral lines. Out of range of those cannons. This is a great investment for Mystic. Let's see if he can get the Infestors out alive, though. He's vulnerable to these Stalkers here. He could lose a few of them. Still, he's able to... What is he doing? He's getting... What is going on? What are these guys shooting? They're shooting the cannons. Oh no, Mystic, you gotta put him on the probes. Looks like he did lose a couple Infestors to those Stalkers. And this is not what you want to see. Only 4 workers killed there. I think the Infested Terrans actually aggroed onto the cannons. This one taking a little bit of damage, and this one is also unfortunately not able to do a whole lot of damage. And losing 2 Infestors. Also, let's see, I don't think Mystic has scouted this tech switch yet. Unaware. He has an Overseer here he could scout with, but he caught a little bit off guard by this tech switch. Wow, there's 3 Immortals on the way, and we have 7 out right now. Wow. Those Immortals are going to make a mess out of these Ultralisks right now. I tell you, they are armored, biological, massive units. And Immortals do 65 damage versus armored. Also, with these hardened shields, the most they're going to take from an Ultralisk is 10, while they still have shields left. Now the hit points on an Ultra, obviously 500 of Immortals. Warp in, here's the engagement. Ultra's moving in, Infestors actually walking up to the front line. He's not casting anything. There you go, Fungals on the Void Rays, and the Immortals. There's just too much firepower here for Mystic to deal with. He's going to have to fall back from this, losing all of his Ultralisks. Infestors as well, quickly down. 1 falls, a couple getting away in the red. A little Zealot. Oh, they get 1 more. And now Theo in a very commanding position. A great tech switch. He has revealed it. There are 26 Hydralisks on the way, though. And where are they? Where are they morphing? Let's see where the spawn point is. We check the hotkeys here. Looks like they're all going to come out to there. These 2 are not rallied anywhere. Look at that, +3 flyer attacks, +2 flyer carapace. Oh, that's a late pathogen glands. Looks like Mystic actually forgot to get that. The Zerg player, you can definitely get this before you get any Infestors, and that way you time it correctly. The Infestor will spawn with enough energy for a Fungal. They do take 50 seconds to build, pathogen glands taking 80 seconds, so 30 seconds into this being researched, start your first set of Infestors, and they'll come out with extra energy And this Protoss death ball actually is a ball of death right now. It is very scary. I don't think these Hydralisks, they're going to fall so quickly. They just do not have a lot of hit points to put damage, and no roaches here to tank anything. 3 ultras on the way, and infestors. It's just such a weak army from MyStiC. There's not a lot of hit points here. Moving in, Theo is going to be able to do a lot of damage with this attack. Void Ray's Fungal's going down, but that's just not going to be enough. There's too much here. A nice blink back. Save a lot of these Stalkers by Theo. And now the Immortals move to the front lines. I don't think a single Immortal fell that day. That's why they call them Immortals. And now these Void Rays at free reign. They're going to charge up. This base will fall. Fortunately for MyStiC, he does have one in the top left corner. I'll tell you, we're at 35 minutes in this game. Could go on even longer than that. Fortunately, this is in trouble. MyStiC, I don't know what your answer is here, but you are in trouble. Not much of an army out. Oh, that also doesn't go up. These guys are just running in one at a time. Ah, that's painful to watch. Poor guys. 12 Hydralisks pulling them away. MyStiC, can you do something? Can you come back? You're down 2-1 in supply right now. Give me something. Show me something, buddy. 12 Hydras. That's it, though. And it's not looking too good. After this, these Void Rays are going to move up to the 3rd, most likely. There's nothing here to answer for this army. And I'll check the unit tab. 13 larva. So MyStiC, he could make something. He's just not sure what to make. He's got Neural Parasite. I can see that helping. But this does not have an army. These Hydras is all running through that. MyStiC, unfortunately, is rallying all of his units to the front lines rather than massing up and engaging as one. He's not going to be able to deal with this army. He loses his base. Now, if we check Theo's vision, now he does know about this base in the top left, and he's going to be able to shut that down. More lanes running in. He's going to die. Actually, going for an Immortal here. They might actually get a kill. Look at that. Oh, so close, that Immortal. Like I said, the Immortals are immortal today. They are not falling. 10 of them are on the field. A mothership now coming out. I think this is Theo's game right now. He's going to take this base out, and there's nothing MyStiC can do. Down to 7 larvae. He's got a good amount of resources, but he just doesn't have an answer. Plus 2 air weapons now coming. A second core. Not sure why there's a second cybernetics core on the way. Maybe for the air weapons. That is true. You do need the cybernetics core to research air upgrades. Theo is going to push, is he? Yes, Theo, do it. Go for it. Looks like he's going to go into the natural. These 4 overlords are all that stands between him and the end of the game. There they go. Hydras and Zerglings not going to be able to do anything at all. They run into the main 4 infestors coming. But even with all these drones sitting here, it's nothing MyStiC can do. He did save a lot of drones at this base. But I have a feeling these guys are going to run to their death very quickly here. It's not looking good at hatchery made in the top left-hand corner. But now Theo can push in unopposed, take out this hatchery, and get right up that ramp into the main. Still sitting here, 10 Immortals. All of them, I think, are fully charged. Only shields just about. Fungals hurting a little bit, but now the blink from the Stalkers is going to get these infestors. That will do it for MyStiC. Quite a game, an epic game, 40-minute game between these two at PVZ. And a GG, well played from MyStiC. Thank you for sending this in. Theo giving him a compliment there. Apparently MyStiC is not a reserve player. Just playing a little bit with his friend. Never lost a macro battle. Serious. Well, reserves are the macro race, I tell you. Let them macro unopposed. They will out-macro you. So, Theo takes the game. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Captain America. We've got an epic replay. Send it to CaptainAmerica at thegspotnetwork.com. Love to cast it and get it up on my YouTube page for you guys. You can also find me casting tournaments Tuesdays and Thursday nights for Team LXG. The LXG Opens every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're a bronze through gold level player, check us out on Tuesdays. If you're a plat or diamond level player, come in on Thursdays. Great tournaments. You can sign up on playhim.com. We do have a chat channel, LXG space open. So it's LXG open, 2 words. The letters are LX and G. The League of Extraordinary Gamers is what that stands for. And they are some extraordinary people. So check them out. That's the chat channel on Battle net as you sign into StarCraft. Great group. Always willing to play games with people, offer advice on things. You know, find us out there. Come check out the tourneys and send some replays my way. I'll cast them and put them up for you. Alright guys, it's been my pleasure. It's Captain America signing off, and you guys keep crafting.